Hello everyone. Today we are going to review Chris Walker's video on I'm not Gen Z, I'm a Zoomer, and we are going to, I guess, watch the video and see uh, which conclusions he comes to, and I will respond to them in full. So let me just share the screen with you.
Okay. Hopefully that will showcase what I want to showcase. But I've gotta say, I feel like shit and I look like shit. I think I might be sick. And YouTube doesn't give days off. So fucking dude, we keep going. Um Today I want to talk about I'm not Gen Z. I'm a fucking Zoomer.
I mean, you can use the words interchangeably, really. It's, I mean, it means the same, so, but I guess that's up for debate for some people. Let's continue.
Okay. And I've had this in my title. I've had this in my idea bank for a long time. But I was talking with somebody yesterday, and he told me that he was Gen Z, and I was like, dude, you're fucking 19. You're a Zoomer. We're not Gen Z. We're a fucking Zoomer. And so my justification for this is, I think that Zoomers are a different breed of Gen Z. Gen Z are like the normie Gen Z. Like those are like the normie Gen Zs. Zoomers are like the extreme Gen Zs.
I mean, you can just say they're normies, but so too are some Zoomers. It really depends on their viewpoints, and but I get what he's saying here that to distinguish between uh, Gen Gen Z, the normies, the soy boys, and the beta bucks type of people, with the assumers who are more extreme and have like these thoughts that are not mainstream and that seeks like their purpose in the corners of the political spectrum or of like life in general. So
So like Zoomer, like the reason why Yeet does so many drugs is because he's a Zoomer. Like the reason why Charlie D'Amelio blew up on TikTok.
I haven't heard Charlie D'Amelio in a while. I actually don't have TikTok, so yeah, it's just TikTok is I had it for a while, but then I don't know, I got bored of it, so I left. But yeah, Charlie D'Amelio is a thought. Let's continue on.
TikTok is because she's a Zoomer, and it's just like it's just a different breed. It's just a different type of people. If you're like in with the culture, then you're a Zoomer.
In with the culture, how? Is it like the mainstream culture? Or is it the dissident culture with the sort of communists? Or actually, they're not communists, they're like socialists, and the like ANCAPs and the fascists and stuff. So, I mean, if you're talking about mainstream culture, then that's I guess you could call it like they're in what is like the establishment culture.
And I think if you're not in with the culture, then you're a Gen Z. And like Gen Z is a millennial attribution. Like Gen Z is,
Yeah, I guess it's like for the old folks who says Gen Z instead of Zoomer, but I mean, yeah, I just use it interchangeably. Means the same. So, but yeah, I guess from like uh, from the I guess person who is more sociable, perhaps, then Gen Z would not be the right word to use to describe someone who is on the far ends of the I guess political spectrum.
Is what the millennials say we are, but we're Zoomers.
That's true.
So I think that you should we should um make and use our own language.
I mean, we already do. Every generation have its own language and like words that they come up with and use, and then the older generation just can't keep up. So we have we Zoomers. We have like scat and like uh, I don't know. I'm not entrenched in the sort of like Zoomer culture too much because I just read books and like go outside and touch grass and I don't know, just like being yeah, just doing my own thing, I suppose. So, and I also just have Instagram, which I probably will delete uh, sometime, but I'm talking to a very important person there, so I can't really just go up and about and delete Instagram, even though I really want to. And I just see it as a time waster to go on social media. So, but if someone's watching this, delete all your social media. It's just do something else than that. It's just you waste so much time on social media. It's insane. So as Hamza also said, if you watch his channel, but let's continue.
I think boomers, because this is where it comes from. Like Zoomers comes from, okay, boomers were baby boomers. Gen Z are going to be take boomer, replace the first word with Z, Zoomers. And it's like
Yeah, I guess it makes it easier to like distinguish. I guess people and put them in boxes with generations. I mean, this generation thing actually comes from I think the 1960s or like 50s, like at the time where corporations began to sell products. uh, they wanted to sell it to like a specific audience, so young people. So they began with these terms as like, Gen Xers, like millennials, Zoomers, the silent generation, just so they could like in paper sell it to the audience or know how to like which which kind of group uh, they wanted to target for their product. So that's actually how this whole like boomer zoomer thing, Gen X thing came into being. It's because of the corporations.
that thing was made into a meme like a couple years ago, but now we can take that meme and go, no, that's real. We really are Zoomers. And it's like we're just different. We're not we're not we're not like, I guess, the melancholy Zoomers. Because like I would say the
I mean, some people does really well in like right now. Zoomers that just popping off with their businesses and stuff. Then there are like people who are complete doomers who do absolutely nothing. They don't accomplish anything. They just like waste time on things that don't really matter, and like looking into their brick, glowing brick, and just don't do important stuff. So
The whole thing that encapsulates Gen Z, the whole thing that like defines my generation is we're just a bunch of extremists. And so
yeah, pretty much I would agree on that because there have been an uptick of like socialists and ANCAPs and like yeah, I mean anarcho primitivists is a thing apparently. They're fascists. They're I mean any like ideology you can think of. There's probably someone that just goes full on uh, bonkers with that. So and I mean it might be just like uh, role playing. They're LARPing, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see in the future how these people turn out. So,
the people that are like normies, they're extremely
but there are some people that are LARPing and will probably just I don't know become slaves to modernity again when they start integrating into the culture. Perhaps I mean I don't know, but I guess like the extreme ideologies are like a reaction to modernity and over materialization.
normal, like extremely normal. And the people that are not normies, they're extreme in whatever they do. So like we've got drug addicts, and all the drug addicts are extreme drug addicts. And if you're doing drugs, you're doing all of them. You're not just like, oh, I'm gonna do a little bit of no, you're doing all the fucking drugs.
I mean, especially in the United States, I think many people are on the streets and can barely like think of a future past drugs and I guess just being on the streets and rotting away because the government doesn't care about them. And they don't care about the government. And so they just shoot up heroin and they shoot up all this harmful stuff into their body, and then they die of an overdose. That's pretty much how their life ends, like at the end of a needle.
Xanax, fucking Percocet, you're doing fucking every drug under the sun. If you don't do drugs, you don't do drugs at all. Like I feel like there's such so
Yeah, it's just like either you're full in or like there's nothing. I can agree with Chris Walker here. That's how it is for us.
so little of a middle ground in our generation that if you're a middle ground type person and you're in our generation, then you're a Gen Z. But if you're not a middle ground type person, then you're a Zoomer. And the same applies like the people who have been, I guess, trying to better their life. Like we extremely go after bettering our life. We're like, okay, yeah, let's go for it. And you fully attack it. You fully take it on. You fully go. I feel like this whole Gen Z thing is a boomer millennial take on it. And then
Is it like some sort of boomer truth that academic agent is talking about? Is that what you're meaning by like it's a boomer and a millennial thing, calling us zoomers? So, but yeah, I guess that's about it.
and but if you look at Zoomers or like politics, like Zoomers went extremely in politics. Like we're the first generation to go,
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with Trump, how memes uh, helped him in his presidency back in 2016, and the so-called meme magic, which was used, and it grew from 4chan. So basically, the repetition and creation of memes on Twitter basically memed Donald Trump into the presidency because we were so political, um, and because we felt that something was wrong. So, or at least those people in America. I'm from Sweden, so I just walk from beyond the seas and watch how America turns out in real time. It's like a it's like a slow motion car crash. So just waiting for the end to see the crash, but it's very slow. So you have like good time to just be nitpicky about what is happening in the moment while the car is in the air, so to speak.
Socialist, capitalist, anarchist, fucking communist. Like we're the first generation to like come into politics, and then just you have like 8 different political alignments in a year.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's that like uh, thing where a young person like us who is, I mean, more influenced by other like ideas and ideologies, just an ideologies just switch on a dime like that. Different like teams, so to speak. So if you're on the Ancapistan or anarcho-capitalist team, then you suddenly switch to like a super socialist, like uh, oh, we're gonna take care of everybody because the socialists had like a thing you liked, so or a thing that they espoused that you like, and then you suddenly switch teams, and that's what happens with this flip flopping of ideologies. You're not exactly like loyal to one or the other. You're just like, oh well, this ideology have a good idea. I'm gonna switch to that, and this ideology have a like this. I like this about this ideology, so I'm gonna switch now and hate the thing that I was before. And it's just this very confusion and concoction of, I guess, blend of these ideas in your brain that just makes it all weird to even think about. But I think you understand what I'm coming at here.
Because we extremely approach it, and we take this extreme mindset with us in everywhere we go. And it's like we either really respect the older generation, or we really disrespect the older generation.
Yeah, I've seen this with a couple of people I've met. Like some people really care about their family and that they want to do good and want to be close with the family and do stuff, activities like going outside with them and just spend some quality time with the people that you care about. And then there's like the people that, I mean, doesn't really like their family and have been treated very poorly and just go clubbing and is with friends all the time, and the friend group becomes some sort of like pseudo family, or like a, I guess, a replacement for the pillar that is family in your life. So you get this like you get that hole that fills that place. with those people. So, but I like having a family that you actually care about is uh, and staying like in touch with them and stuff. That's actually better than going the route of like totally neglecting your genetically like the family you are genetically similar to, so to speak, your actual siblings and father and mother and all the family members that's in your genetic line. So, and that's basically where we are at when it comes to familial relations.
And I think our generation is encapsulated by that extremity. And the people who are not extreme are extremely not extreme. Like like that's the paradigm we're operating in. Like all of the normies are extremely normy. And all
Yeah, that's true. It's the well, I have said this many times now, but I'll just clarify here that what he's saying is absolutely on point, because we have seen these people that just are, uh, I trust the government, uh, I support the current thing. That's like the main like point where I'm getting at here is the ultra normies, or what Chris Walker is saying here, the sort of super normies that are just, yes, go Ukraine, I support the current thing, the government can do no wrong, I trust the haha funny man or on the TV, I trust the funny man TV show host that is giving my opinion for me, and that's like the archetype of the super normie. That's just not political. He's just like living life and surfing and doing some like outdoor activity, because I mean you can also be like a dissident and do outside activities. It's just like they're the what do you call it, these sort of dude bro guys. So, and they're probably on the beach, just don't not caring about the I don't know, if I can say it, because Susan might smite me. The Eye of Sauron might lay its gaze on me, but that's the rise in custodial. Can you say that? Or the let's say the rise in the big coins in goods. That's what we'll call it. The rise in big coins, or the rise in coins at the goods in the market. That is happening right now because of the Ukrainian kerfuffle, and that the absolute negligence of the majority of the situation that we are in is, yeah, can only be met with extreme sadness.
of the non-normies are extremely non-normal. So whatever subject or thing that
Yeah, the extremists play Hearts of Iron 4 and the map games. That's where they're at.
they do, they're going hard in it. And everything else is just like fuck it. So I don't know what causes this. I think it's a spiritual
I think I
awakening or a
let me go back to this.
what I don't know what causes this. I think it's a spiritual awakening or
Yeah, so both like economic, um, the economy has probably done this to us, that we receive less and less the more years go by, as we have seen with the housing market and the so-called cost of living crisis. And we've basically like the growing like discontentment that we're getting less than our ancestors or those people before us is like driving us to the extremes. And I think also the extreme reliance on materialism to satisfy our needs, both spiritually and materialistically, as it does for the latter, does not do for the former, because we don't have like a religion in place that have been driven out, that enforces morals and good behaviors in the citizens of the country, and that actually holds people together as a nation. And those ideas and like mode of that mode of being has been driven out in the West, and we are, and thus we are to deal with this nihilistic and I guess spiritual decline that we are in. Evola talked about, if you have if you know about Julius Evola or have read about him, he talks about the Kali Yuga, which is the Indians like way back a couple thousand years had this idea of the Dark Age. I think it is in Buddhism, or like no, Hinduism was it? It is in Hinduism, this idea of the Kali Yuga, which is a 4,000 year old dark age, spiritual dark age, not a material one. A material dark age. I think will come later, perhaps, depending on how we will react here in the modern era, in the material era that we are living in. So, but I think we're definitely in some kind of spiritual decline, and the only way forward is to find it, whether or not we are ready to face it. But I think in time we will figure it out, and I guess just like because Guénon, René Guénon, he talked about finding this spiritual enlightenment in Catholicism, and that maybe if we revive the Church of the Catholics and bring it onto Europe once again, we might some like kind of get out of the Kali Yuga, but it's just like the Catholicism is also a perversion of the Hyperborean tradition. So, I mean, the ideal would be to find the Hyperborean tradition as soon as possible, and that is stated by Evola. So, yeah, that's our way forward to get out of the Kali Yuga, find the Hyperborean tradition, and live in harmony with the world, essentially.
Or a spiritual alignment. Maybe it's because we were all watching cartoons whenever we were little. I don't know what the fuck is the cause of it, but we're all extremists. Like we're all extremists, and we're all trying to go for the outer edges extreme shit. So, oh, also, look, I shaved. Look at that. Look at that shit. This shit's looking nice. I shaved. Woo! Goddamn me. All right, peace.
Some closing notes before we stop the stream is that, yeah, we are on opposites, or the Zoomers are split between two or many ideologies, which makes them think in ways that have been abnormal for our parents and grandparents and those that came before. So we're in this like vacuum of spirituality and like what it means to be a zoomer in the modern world. What our like defining characteristic will be, I think we'll only find in the future, where we have a better ground to like broaden our ideas because we have collected them, because we have become older, and then I think we can probably define what Zoomers have been and what they will become in the future. That is all.